Home children, sorry that you're dead. It is Monday, April 22nd, and yes, there is a quiz today, but not yet. We're going to talk first, and we'll get to the quiz in a little bit because I have information about it, because apparently we're playing Operation Everyone Yell at Mr. Brovicast. Just because I was gone for a couple days, and all you can do is yell at a picture of me, or those of you who kept a picture of me to give yourself nightmare fuel on a nightly basis whenever you fall asleep and you're like, please have bad dreams. Done! You can solve it that way. So we will, yes, I am aware I did change the page numbering. I will talk about that in a moment. We have I Learn tomorrow.
No.
Yay.
Yay.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
So
So you get 2.5 hours of first period tomorrow. Well, 2 hours of testing of first period, and then a half hour of actual class. You get a half hour of this class tomorrow. Fourth period is normal length because that's food time. And then same thing again Wednesday. So this week is English. You get English on Tuesday and English on Wednesday. Next week we do the same thing again. Except you have math on Tuesday and then math again on Wednesday. With all of that, I am sending out the Apparently you were so shocked you died. I am sending out the schedule for which the class periods are after school today. So if you want to see the time periods, I'm sending that out. And then we got that, we're good to go. So camp! Hopefully you enjoyed it and it wasn't too awful. Hopefully I prepared you well enough as far as the things that I covered going into it and stuff like that. I will have your grades as far as the camp stuff goes, because your counselors are the ones who grade what you did, because they're the ones who teach you, so the ones who teach you get to grade you. And then I have a big stack of their grading to go through. I do have your actual books, which I'll be giving back to you either tomorrow or Wednesday, and I'll hand those back to you. If you enjoyed camp and you want to be a counselor, you can do it your sophomore year, which is 10th grade. So you can't do it next year because you're still here. You can't do it the year after that because it's your first year of high school. Sophomore year, which is second year of high school, you're welcome to. Our only requirement is decent grades, which just means like A's, B's, and like 1C, because you have to miss 3 days of school. So if you're struggling at school and we pull you out for 3 days, they get grumpy. If you get in trouble with the dean, they tend to frown on that because that whole good role model thing. So just don't be a kid that gets in trouble too much. And then aside from that, be a kid that I'm going to trust with students. And the big difference there is a lot of you right now, no, I wouldn't trust you as students because you are a student. But a lot of your counselors that you saw were also horribly goobery 7th graders at one time too. And the joy of going from 7th grade to 10th grade is you shed your gooberiness like a snake sheds its skin. That was an expert level metaphor. And so hopefully by your sophomore level you are less goobery. Hi, Derbles.
Was Reese the same here?
Yeah, you mean not you, Reese, but your counselor, Reese? So Reese was a special child even in 7th grade, but she was not that special. She was more just an outspoken kid who liked to volunteer, but was still fairly normal.
Yeah, we cannot relate at all.
No, I agree. Not anymore. She shed her normalness and became an extra special child.
Doesn't happen to me.
Hi, Ramos.
Is that the reason why counselors sometimes call them like goobers?
Yeah, well, your counselor was my child, and I call you guys goobers, and apparently my child apparently takes after me. So yeah, if you were not aware, my child was one of the counselors who was there. And so I figured I would show you the transformation of my kid over the years from 7th grade version all the way up into the one you got to see, which was this year. Apparently, kids go through phases, and my kid went through a real fun 9th grade phase. And the reason I cover the picture is because I'm not allowed to show you Moss's face because I got yelled at when I did, because my kid went through a phase where she wanted to shave little lines into the eyebrows, which is all great until you accidentally shave too big a line, and then you try to fix the line, and then by fixing it, you shave off your entire eyebrow. And so my kid got to start high school with no eyebrows, and it looked like it was a completely smooth face, and apparently that embarrasses my child. I find it hilarious. It's one of my favorite pictures ever. But I think you get the idea with the spiked collar my kid wore for school pictures. And then still, by the way, those are feet that are dangling from your ears in sophomore year. And then apparently now we've slowly calmed down. Apparently, we take all kinds of special children. You should not be shocked that this came from this on any level.
Yeah.
There is a direct correlation between
Some
that
parts are also
child
more weird.
and me. So, other than that, I hopefully you guys enjoyed camp somewhat and came back from it with not too many scarred memories and stuff like that. So, if it helps, because of the storms coming in Tuesday night, you did miss one more frightening image of me. And so if you have Globetrotter friends, we did get to do one, and there's maybe a picture that you'll see of me showing bits that are scary. But if not, then so be it. And I do have all of the pictures I am sending out today, this afternoon. So if you are on Remind, or if your parents are on email, I am finishing up those pictures editing, and then I will send out that whole thing to you guys this afternoon, and you can sit there and go through all those pictures and go, oh my god, look at this goober. Oh, that's me. Matei.
What grade is those grades are from one? So it's like every single thing we did going different grades.
Oh, you mean like we record. So you have, there's like a math grade, a science grade, a social studies grade, and an English grade. So you have 4 grades. And so they would go into those classes. No PE. Even though you did a lot of walking, there's no PE connected to it.
I think we should get an A+ in wellness.
Yeah, I think so too. Alright.
I think my counselors shouldn't be counselors next year.
I think Reese.
Is there one in particular you're thinking of?
Not Both. you, Reese. Not you, Reese. Other Reese.
Then as far as last week goes, again, sorry I wasn't here. I was dealing with all those Globetrotters. No, it was not nearly as much fun as having you guys there. It was way more relaxing because I don't care about Globetrotters. But it wasn't nearly as much fun because I kind of care about you guys more. Hi, Aiden.
Way less. They got under 1,000 a day.
If you combined their whole week, it equaled like one of your meals.
So they're fat.
Yeah, that's...
Technically.
Yes,
Bro, we
that's
literally
what I was
changed, bro.
going with
Changed
all
my
that.
That's Did you know
Or-
they actually cheated and some of them were putting it in their backpacks and then throwing it away in a different trash can? By the way-
fat.
Yes,
By the way.
according to Monozzi, they're fat.
So actually they had more, except they're cheaters.
So you're saying they're smarter than you?
No.
And fat.
What?
I said
she
she
got
Ellie
Ellie
more. So I can use on
out.
Me and Ellie just like.
Then as far as the directions went with me explaining the whole 75 item list thing, again, if it's not done yet, I'll give you through tonight. I wanted you to have it done, but I had a number of kids who emailed me saying that apparently they were starting to do the writing and then things got gobbled and eaten and things got deleted, and as much as I would like to freak you guys out and stress you out, I'm going to try and not do that. So as long as it's in there by tonight, you should be good. Did you guys, so as far as the 75 item things went, again, it is 2 grades. One for you guys listing your 75 items with explanations, and the other grade is going to be you responding to other people with the responsey things. So,
You did not say that.
which part?
That's the second.
You most definitely did.
You did not say
So
that.
this would come down to which kids actually went through and watched the video, where I explained all of that, and
She told us
then
not to
read
watch
the
the video.
directions.
Not to follow. Not to watch
She
it.
didn't let us go on our iPad.
Yeah, she did not let us go.
She
on.
said,
she didn't
one
let us watch
kid,
it.
give me your iPad. She took Kyle's and made Kyle do the thingamajiggy.
But she did
and
not
didn't
let
let
us
us
watch
watch
the
the
video. She just,
She just like told us to read.
yeah.
Okay. Well, did you guys go on there and...
We weren't allowed to use our iPads.
Yeah. Announcements.
True, that's what I'm saying. It was in the announcements where it described all of this.
How
and-
are we supposed to go to announce?
Oh my god, you have this thing called your house.
Who's going on to school after school?
Apparently just responsible kids. So again, the joy of you guys yelling at me, I don't know what you want me to do. I'm just passing it along to you again. So this is where I'm not making it due now for those of you who are flipping your desks over yelling at me. I'm giving you till tonight. By the way, tonight is when you go on your school iPad at home. Don't you get...
My iPad doesn't open after 4.
Well, that's not my issue. So again, the 75 items list as you went through, this is where you would go through and reply, so you can reply to other people's.
Who put Dolly Blaine?
Hey.
What does the replies have to look like?
Yeah.
Well, like,
I have it on there.
are they supposed to be like good and like well educated?
Solid question. So what I'm looking for is, I am grading you on your response. So, like, on this one, if you just reply with, yo, good job.
Okay, well,
We're going to call that, crap.
so
But,
it's not.
so what I'm looking for you is like,
You never gave us an example. You just said, "Oh, you need to reply." So like some people were like, "Reply." Like, what do you want us to do? You never specified what the reply was like.
let me see, sometimes if I have, do I have replies? See if I had any on here. I did not.
Guys, I don't
Yeah,
know.
you didn't. Wait.
So, for the reply, I apologize, Summer. What I'm looking for you to do
I
is just,
don't want a bad grade because you didn't tell
Is-
me what to do.
Oh, I'm gone for 2 days. You guys have worked up all your yelling and Mr. Brovicast energy. I'm looking for you to just go on there and be like, hey, I don't know. Good job including the fact that you put, your poodle fur coat on there. I never would have thought to keep poodle fur. Or, that's embarrassing. Who has 5 toothbrushes? You don't need 5 toothbrushes.
Okay, that's what I did.
What I'm looking for is for you to show me that you read it and that there's some level of thinking and it applies to that post.
Okay.
If what you reply, if I could pull that out and plug it into any other post, that would be pooey. So this just replying, hey, yo, great job. That's awful. I could reply that to anyone. But if you're like, Matt, why do you have 8 pairs of shoes? You can only wear 1 pair a day. That would be something that's specific to that person. So that's what I'm looking for. You can criticize as long as we're not hateful. Like, oh my God, a Nirvana t-shirt. What are you in 5th grade? Die, you piece of poo. That's going to be a little bit much. But if you're like, hey, why are you still wearing sandals, in 2024? Then, I mean, given, you're not trying to make a kid cry themselves to sleep.
There goes my
Hi, Kyle.
How does an iPad plus a charger count as one item?
Because they all, when you buy them, does your iPad come with a charger?
Yes.
Oh, not anymore. Not anymore. What if you buy like a separate one?
Yeah.
And
Well,
what if
if
it
you
doesn't
buy a special one, then you can keep your special one separate. But when I buy my electronics, they usually come with a charger that's connected to it. So that was me trying
It
to
has
be
Samsung.
nice. If not, then
Who's
if-
Macy? Who's that person
a
that put
kid
Dolly and
who's
Blanky?
from last year, who's not here.
Dolly and Blanky.
I couldn't do them from this year because that required me to travel into the future. And
Dolly
that
and
made it
Blanky.
tough. Yeah, she kept her Dolly and her Blanky on there.
I love my
gonna be the one on top next year though.
Bro, my first one was literally a song.
And then we have, there you go, you're posting your 75 items. So you posting 2 replies to other people's posts that are constructive and well thought
I
out.
expect man
Constructive, weak, poor replies are possible, but it also does impact your grade. Make your choice. You can, for those of you who are very verbose and just have a lot you want to say, you can reply to more than 2. If there's a lot of people that you feel strongly about, that is fine.
You get extra credit.
Matthew?
So, I don't know if you're gonna count this one. I accidentally replied in the text because it looked like he forgot something, and then he fixed it. So, are you gonna count that one?
That's fine. So he went back and edited it after your post?
Yeah,
That's
I did.
fine. That's good. Sounds like he was learning from it.
Actually, I knew it. I just.
Manasvi?
If I reply to your list, does that count as one of my replies?
Sure. I think we can probably count that one.
We're playing 4 times a year.
Alright. By the way, you will have another post coming up where you're going to be writing your own sermon, where you get a thing that you get to go on a bit of a ranty rant.
Sorry.
You're going to rant about your dad?
No, I'm gonna ask my dad. My dad's a pastor.
Well, again, so your sermon is not one that you're giving to a church. Your sermon is where you channel your inner Manasvi, and you're going to find a thing to complain about.
Still ask my dad.
So you're going to find a thing that you want to rant about.
They all edit.
Minimally, if it's like you just throwing an F-bomb, we're going to have an issue. But if you're in the process of feeling emotions, we can be slightly forgiving. Matei?
This has the B word in it. I did not appreciate the pretty well.
That's the word because? I'm sorry.
No, it has the B word.
I'm aware.
A female dog thingy.
Let's see, my list I put on there for you.
Yeah, your list was dumb in some parts. Not gonna lie.
Headbands, bro.
But I'll
NGL.
touch on it in your reply.
And then again, your explanations for at least just 10 of them in some way.
Mr. Burway, it's a necessary does not count as a well-written sentence.
It doesn't have a thing.
But I have
It's
spent
a
that
necessary.
much money on time.
You said you have to have two to three sentences. It's a necessary does not count as a sentence.
I graded it and I said it was good.
What?
That's
not
not fair.
That's the part
That's
with
my
that
problem.
you're
It's
gonna
not
be
fun.
like,
No,
That's
I don't have
right.
much faith in this guy. This guy's not a very good writer.
Why
You
did
guys
make
are way better. I have much higher expectations.
Didn't you write like
for you.
two books?
fair. You're the teacher.
But I'm also in the regular class too.
Yeah, and it literally says there.
But didn't you write like 4 books?
You've been doing this very
So, aside from you guys going all anger grump at me, anything else I can help you with along these lines before we get to go to our next anger grump?
Hey.
Hi, Joe-Yo.
Meet us in the parking lot after school.
4:15?
4:30.
4:30? Works for me. I'll be in my car driving out.
6:36.
What's up, Picky?
Oh, why did you not just make all 75 items your ties? Like, you could, like, turn a PS5 into
I know.
some of your ties.
Well,
and
I
make
have
different
400 ties, so that could be all of them, but I had to limit myself so you know how these things go. Hey, what's up?
Can I do like can I delete my list and then I need to like fix my
Edit it.
Okay, and you can delete your list.
You can edit it. That's how we can mess it up, and then it looks like we're replying to, you know, Mate's fixed list, and it looks like there's this
Can
ridiculous.
I use
back
a
end.
different account to reply to my own?
How are you going to do that, Candace? You let me know how you can make that one work.
Hack
Pumpkin.
into
Your older sister's accounts.
You can tell.
Yeah, but I missed the answer to that.
Then, as far as gospel goes, let's see. We finished out with finding out that Josh equals Larry, which, by the way, if you read the back cover of your book, yeah, it literally says it there. That's just me banking on most of you being too lazy to read the back of it. Because you're like, oh my god, it's like 250 words. But yeah, if you read the back, it literally says it right there, which kind of ruins it. I just usually find out most kids don't read the back of the book. What was best tattoo?
And Larry, the Larry thing.
What was the Larry thing?
Bird,
The pizza.
Wasn't it the money with the?
It was
The dollar sign.
Yeah.
Dollar sign with a
Oh,
little
yeah.
line through it because it
Yeah.
was supposed to be the anti-consumerism thing where now she gets her little tattoo-y thing. She does not get the Larry tattoo because that'd be a little bit much and I think it'd be
She's
an
always
extra
seemed like
creepy.
a
But
fangirl.
yeah, but it's more the fact that she agrees with the idea of not having consumerism. Now that you guys have spent a week in the woods, you've been touched your inner Josh Swinson / Larry side. So now you have your connection with the whole idea of
I rather not.
the Todd issue that is continuing with.
She got back with Todd like a op. She's a op. We should kill her.
Yeah. Seems a little strong on that one, but she definitely does keep getting back with Todd.
Not at that point.
Zach,
Not our
fight,
point right
Zach,
now.
fight,
I got to
Zach,
132.
fight.
Yeah.
I got the 130.
So this is why I wanted you to get to page 130 because I wanted to be able to talk about Larry Fest. If you've not gotten there, that's fine. We'll talk about
Sounds
that
like
here in a
pickle
moment.
fest.
But Larry, do you guys know what Woodstock is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
That's a
old
bird.
from 19, not the bird from Snoopy.
Oh.
but close, but the big music festival from like the 1960s. That's what this was in relation to. So they were doing Larry Fest, and this was. Do you guys know what Lollapalooza is?
Yeah.
So it's another like what is it? The one that's out Burning Man. Right now that this past weekend they had Coachella, and so these all started because of Woodstock in the 1960s, and then Lollapalooza, which started in the early 90s, and then you get Larry Fest, and then you get Coachella, where all of these big like multiple day music festivals all sort of started from that. And so that's what Larry Fest was. Who was the main headlining band at Larry Fest?
Two.
And why U2?
Because Carson.
They're like part of
They
it.
agree.
And so that was the connection. That was his mom's favorite band, and the connections from there. Mate.
So the Larry Fest was a national thing.
Yeah, way back in the day.
Did you go there?
No, I was still here, and I didn't have this thing called money because I was like a second year, first year teacher, or I was in college. It was a long time ago. There was dinosaurs.
Well, you're
I was
still a
scared
teacher,
of
so
them.
technically you still don't.
Joe-Yo.
Did you look at the stepdad's name? What's his name?
Peter. Thank you. Peter Swinson.
And the stepmom's name is like.
Catherine.
Catherine.
Yeah,
She's not stepmom. She's girlfriend.
Yeah, girlfriend.
She's a
Hopefully-
step girlfriend.
Step girl.
I don't like her. She's weird.
I mean, she does
Her
like
lasagna
Humpty
is
Dumpty.
disgusting.
Although I did spell this wrong because it should be a lowercase b. We do, if you know the answer, don't say it, because we do eventually find out who Beta Gold is. And so Beta Gold is going to be the true op that we're going to get into. Beta Gold's main idea is to try and get the information out there about who Larry is.
And then Larry kills her.
And then Larry kills her.
Really funny shit.
That sounds interesting.
So is it Beta Gold?
And then the fight between Josh and Peter is.
Huh?
So, well, that was the big throwdown.
When Josh like puts on like the.
This is
for a
put your
team.
hand in
Peter does that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's where Peter gets a little on the aggressive side.
And like he apologizes because like Josh was like talking about like Larry. Larry and like Peter got mad.
Yeah.
And so Peter got mad, super pressed.
And then this is where we're getting into the whole why he wants to be anonymous to try and help him out. So going into it from how many of you guys how many of you guys have gone past 130?
I'm on 134. So
How many of you guys, without saying it, know who Beta Gold is?
Well, I'm assuming. Yeah, like it's
Not assuming. How many of you guys have gotten to the part where we find out who Beta Gold is? Alright. I don't want the assuming part of it yet from there. Alright. So, how many of you guys have not gotten to 130 yet? Because you stopped back where I told you to. And that's fine, because we're going to talk about that with Quizzy. I don't not blame you on that one either, because I did a little shifty thing from there. Then, without giving stuff away, at this point in the book where we've just gotten past Larry Fest, do we have opinions on Josh as a person with what he's trying to do?
Yes.
Yeah? Do you,
No.
wait, do you guys like Josh as a person?
No.
Yeah, I like them.
Can you give me reasons? One, as a teacher, I liked what Josh was trying to do, and so I'm curious as kids today if you think what Josh is trying to do or what you think about him. Joyo?
I like Josh because like a lot of people like that. How like she supports Larry, and but like she's been like believing all of this stuff before Josh,
Mm-hmm.
and so like I just like Josh because like he actually had like the guts that nobody had to like make a whole like website and like express his feelings.
I'll dig that. He's actually trying to change the world. I can dig. Summer, why are you giving me squinty face?
Because he did it when he was bored.
But he still did it. He still did it, right?
I mean, both are solid arguments. Yes, he was bored, but when you guys were bored, you scrolled TikTok.
Exactly.
And when he was bored, he changed
He made a
the world.
website and now he's famous, but he doesn't. Oh wait.
Given he did not.
famous.
But doesn't he say like that was his main idea, was trying to find a way to change the world? He just stumbled into it?
Exactly. Exactly.
Manasvi?
I feel like I like him because I see what he's trying to do in the book, but then as it like progresses, his like, I don't know, his attitude towards everything like changes, and I don't like how he like views everything like that. I feel like when
Beth
Paul
up
came
and she
into the
needs to
picture-
die.
Okay, but like I feel like she also is allowed to like have her own like life.
She needs to
and I
burn
feel
a
like
car.
just because he feels like she's kind of like indebted to him and like some parts of the story.
And broke
And I don't
Beth
like
does not like Josh.
Yeah, I know, and he keeps harassing her. That's why I'm like, it's like,
Well,
Like
he
I
has
hope Beth dies in a
that
boat.
awkward
She
teenage
is leaving
crush
Josh.
thing.
It says
Yeah,
I
but
pulled her into me or something like that.
Yeah.
it's like, hey, it progresses. I'm like, I was reading it. I was like, physically had to put it down. I just don't like some
And
of
those of you who got through the Larry Fest parts, there are some awkward moments in the Larry Fest.
When they were in like the tent, when they were in the tent.
That's why I did head scratching.
And
That's
Beth-
ASL for
and like Josh.
we're not talking about the tent scene. Matei?
I think it's like good that he's trying to, especially that both his parents died and he's still like staying positive about it.
I can dig that.
So, but I do think he's trying a little too hard, and he can probably like. I understand he's trying to make the world better, but you don't have to like pull everything towards yourself to do that. So like I mean, he could definitely just change the world by being a nice person to everybody else instead of taking everybody toward him and making everything to be like I actually think that and I actually think that. When you can really just do it by being nice to everybody else. You don't really have to be that big to.
I can dig that. Matthew?
One thing I don't like about Josh is like he's willing to risk all of this stuff that he's doing to change the world.
Just by telling for one girl. Like just by telling that.
And you're saying one girl's not worth it.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
bro. Like,
not.
and the girl doesn't even
That's embarrassing. That is bad though.
Does have a crush
He's
on
bad.
her.
I want her to
Yeah.
die.
Are we
And-
trying to hear it right now?
He's using it. He's using it.
grandmas.
In my opinion, Josh is an
Oh, put
okay
it down.
character, but like some things he does are questionable, such as like the adrenaline thing where he's revealing parts of himself just for adrenaline. Like that, I think is very, very stupid on his part. But like some of his sermons are actually causing a big ripple effect, bigger than just being a person out there. Because being a person out there, it only affects such a small range. Online, it reaches a bunch of other people, but he also shouldn't hide who he is, in my opinion, just because that might sometimes make some people, annoyed, curious. They might just be, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, there's an online thing called 4chan. Some people on there are insane and manage to find people. And so I'm just saying, that could probably happen to him, and it's really stupid that he's just hiding himself, because at some point he's going to get caught, and then everything will fall apart.
So with him being anonymous, do you guys, from your viewpoint of kids today, is him being anonymous good or bad?
I mean, I think it's normal now.
But like, it shows that he's a coward. If you stay anonymous, stay anonymous. Don't share anything.
I feel like I get it.
Don't if you want to be anonymous, don't send pictures. You can be anonymous. You can be anonymous. Don't try to get people to get you just for attention. Like you don't need to get other people to get you.
Julia?
I think that like he should stay anonymous. Cause like in school, he doesn't seem like the most popular person. And like a lot of people hate him.
Not we will make
He'll be popular in a
He's
bad
more,
way.
I think he's more just an outcast.
Yeah,
It'll
because
make
like,
him popular,
no, okay,
or
so like,
it'll
so like
go
let's
the
say,
whole Larry
like
thing
let's say
will
when
go
he all
back.
the back like the
He'll be
beginning,
popular
when
in a
like he
bad
first
way.
like created it, like let's say he like did put his name, people would not look at it because people don't like him.
Yeah.
And like let's say like he probably like did reveal himself now, like let's just say like if like he did, you just say like he did, right? People would stop watching the website, like people would stop reading.
Because they would filter it through the fact that it was written by this dorky outcast kid.
That's what it says in the book. Yeah.
What if they realize
that was a good
do it?
You thought you could escape me.
Yeah, like, here's the point. You can be anonymous, like that's completely fine, but don't need to share your stuff just to try to get.
That's like
Yeah, like
It's
it's
like a
fine for
bad
him to be anonymous. Like if you wouldn't, if he's anonymous, people will actually.
He's being anonymous, but he's doing like stupid decisions.
He's like
And
haunting them.
part of it is you guys having grown up with like social media being part of your life. This was the big turning point. Like prior to this, kids never got to hear other kids' opinions. Like back in dinosaur times when I was a kid, like all of kid-oriented things were given to us by adults. Like TV shows were adults saying what kids wanted. One of the joys you guys have now is you can go on TikTok and see entertainment created by other kids. So you guys have all of your filters are opinions from other people, other peers your age. This was like the very first time that teenagers could hear a voice that was not an adult. They could actually hear a voice that was a kid. They didn't know it was a kid, but that's why they were connecting with it. Like, here is a person who is angry at adults. Here is a person that is not an adult talking to us, and that's why it resonated so much. Whereas you guys have that all the time. With social media, you get to interact with peers around the world, whereas when I was a kid, back in my day, we didn't have that, and that's why I think this took off so much at the time. It was sort of the first time that kids got to hear other kids say things, which seemed to be a pretty big deal. Let me see. Now the lyrics, we covered the Three Stooges, he talks about that.
I watched that.
That's such
Yeah, I actually have like a whole like case of them.
There was a scene where he talks about a ball-peen hammer. In case you don't know, it's the one that claw hammer is the one that has the claw on the back for pulling out nails. Ball-peen is one that has the smacky end, and then it has this for like, I don't know, denting
Putting
things.
dents?
Sure, it's for denting things.
Denting people's heads.
I'm assuming you guys knew who the Lorax was when he was talking about the Loraxy bits from there. And then there was a scene where he talked about the Nike sign and then using it to like make the swastikas. And there was like the scene there. So in case you were, I'm assuming you're familiar with both of those.
Can you not show that to me?
Like, take it off.
Yeah, can you take it
It
off?
was for the Hindu
Fine,
sign.
I'll cover it. I'm sorry, I didn't know you guys were so bothered.
The other one, no, the Nazi swastika was actually first Hindu sign.
Yeah.
Correct. By the way, for those of you who are unaware, like this was not a bad thing. For years, it was a sign of peacefulness, and it goes way back, way before the 1940s. And this is just one of those unfortunate things where you have an evil group who took this over and then ended up making it an awful thing. It's like, have you guys seen this symbol?
I remember when my
And so, if you're unfamiliar, like people who do this, they hold it down
What's
there.
this?
And,
Oh, then I'm gonna get it.
or if you have someone say like, there's even that symbol where you can, it's like an emoji
means
where you
okay.
can be like, the problem
That's
is
neat.
that there was a group of people, actually it goes back to Ramos and 4chan, who made this into a sign for white power. Because it has a W and it has a P, and so it became a secret thing where if you did this, it represented Nazism. And so it's one of those things again where people will take a normal thing and then
That
make it
still means
awful
okay.
because of connection.
For me, that still means okay. I got it.
I
Now,
remember my boyfriend.
That still means okay.
Well, I agree with you the same way, but it was about 4 years
"Oh, what are
ago
you
where it
guys
started
doing,
hitting the news, where it was a big thing where actually there one of the news articles I was doing, the discussion was there's like a group of kids in, I think, St. Louis who were on a rugby team or like lacrosse team who got suspended because they took a team picture and all the kids were doing this in the team picture. And they were like, there's a whole bunch of white kids in the picture, and they're like, all these kids are promoting white power, and it made the national news, and they're like, these kids need to be suspended. And then it came out later, it was their 3rd championship in a row. So they were all holding up 3 because they'd gotten their 3rd championship, but all that was posted online was all of these kids posting white power, and they're like, these kids need to be suspended. And so it became that whole thing where people will take a thing and then abuse it. But that was just a whole... Anyway.
Aiden, bro. Pee-wee.
Pee Wee Herman. If you mentioned Pee Wee Herman in there too. If you've never seen this movie, I highly recommend it.
It's so
Right?
It's so
It
stupid.
is definitely
I used
weird.
to always watch when my stepdad introduced it to me.
Nice.
I still watch it to this day.
And then that was like one of the last things they talked about him wearing the wizard hat at Larry Fest when he was walking around and she gave him the little wizard
I was
hat.
saying, okay.
And have you guys
We
seen the
just
movie
watched that.
Fantasia where he chops the broom into little bits and it
Oh,
becomes
we
lots
just
of
watched
little
that. I
bits?
used to play that game. We just watched it in. They made it into our game.
Like 2 games.
It was on Xbox 360.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, the idea that it feels like the more he tries to stop things, it just kept spreading and becoming more and more and more. And that was the reference he was making on that one. So, with quiz, I am aware that one, I didn't give you much time, literally 3 minutes. And the fact that, again, I extended how long you have to take it. It is not due until midnight tonight. So it's one of those things where if you've not finished reading, if you want to start taking it now, you're more than welcome to. If you would rather do the reading, I think if you've read, it's like a 5 to 10 minute quiz. I was not trying to make it super tough on you. Again, and I was not wanting to freak you out. I wanted to talk to you since I didn't get to have class last week. For me, that was slightly more important than a quiz, and I figure you being able to take quiz home and take it from there is okay with me too. If you want to take it at home, that's fine with
So
me.
it's over all the way to 130?
Up to page 130, because I put a couple questions from Larry Fest on there. So, and if you want to take it now up to the 130 and then stop, that's fine with me too. You guys know how your own free time works. Again, I just wanted to talk to you as opposed to making you take a quiz the whole period because I kind of missed you. Most of you.
I was completely missed what you was in like the last second.
Actually.
She's right next to you.